Okay, greetings everybody. My name is Sxlly. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night, whatever time it is where you live. This is episode 1 within the Python's basic series. And today we'll be covering the data type strings or string. Just for some basic back knowledge on what a data type is, and on top of that, what a string is as a data type. A string within Python is a data type that is normally used to deal with text and language of which humans can understand. This comes in the type of websites and games and applications. Any text you see on screen when using any of these things is more than less a string. A string within Python can be initialized using two methods mainly. These are single quotation marks as such. Now, hello is a string here. You can also use double quotation marks. This is the exact same thing. And more complex, you can assign this way and place a variable in here that you want to now become of the string data type. This way is quite useless when dealing with pure text like the hellos above it, but this is really useful when you're wanting to convert a variable that holds a lot of data that is a different data type to a string easily. And not only easily, but if you wanted to only be a string in one certain area, in opposed to changing its entire data type to a string forever, this method is definitely the way to go for that, I would say. Now, moving forward, the string can be outputted to the terminal using a print statement. And if you don't know what a print statement is within Python, it is basically what prompts something to be outputted to the terminal when compiling and running a Python program. I'll give you an opportunity to see how that goes right now. So we're going to place a string hello within the print statement, and we're going to run this. This outputs hello to the terminal here, as you can see. So it takes the string hello and it prints it to the terminal. That's what a print statement does. It does it with a lot of other things, not just strings. But there's a way you can see your string, and if you had created it correctly, or if your arguments in regard to strings are working as intended. Moving forward, I want to quickly show you basically really long strings, how you can deal with really long strings. So really long strings can be easily dealt with creating something that's called a doc string, which is short for a document string. This is easily denoted by 3 quotation marks. Once again, it follows the same rules as a normal string, as this can be 3 double quotation marks or 3 single quotation marks. It achieves the same outcome. And for an example, you can now write large bits of text within this doc string. I'm not going to do it right here for you, as that's going to just waste your time and also mine, but you can have text that spreads across multiple lines, and as you can see, the doc string can support that. Moving forward, I want to cover the more complex parts of a string, which is indexing through a string. If you're completely new to programming, indexing means basically finding items, or look at it at a base level, finding specific letters within a string that's of a bigger word itself. Now, when indexing through a string is treated as an array or a list if you have no programming knowledge at all while watching this video, you can envision this list as just a normal list of numbers that you might see in everyday life. Let's have a look at this list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, how this relates to a string is basically each letter within our string is a number, and as the string goes forward or towards the right and gets bigger in size, these numbers increase. Now, a little trick with computer programming as a whole: the computer counts from 0. Okay, not really in the sense that it counts from 0, but it takes 0 as a number. So as a human would take number 1, the computer sees 0 as number 1. So any human would say, how many letters does hello have in it? On screen here, 5. It has 5 letters, right? The computer would tell you it has 4 letters. How that happens? H is 0, E is 1, L is 2, the other L is 3, and the O is 4. That's how the computer counts. Weird. I don't really know the whole science behind that off the top of my head, and I'm not going to go and give you any false information, but you can go research that yourself. But just for a key concept, if you're very new to programming, almost any programming language you can find does count from 0. We can now cover a few methods such as length. Length is getting you how many characters are in your string. In Python, this is done using a function as such. We can add our hello string in here. This is done more efficiently by normally assigning hello to a variable, but because this is the first video in our Python's basic series, I want to keep it really simple, and I don't want to cause confusion. So I'm going to stay with simple strings as it is now. But if you have a bit of programming knowledge and you're watching this video, yes, putting it in a variable would be the way to go. So don't be scared of doing that just because I'm not here. Now, as this function will get us a length, we won't get told the length without using a print statement. So simply, I'm just going to put the entire argument within a print statement. Now if we run this, we can see the 5 output here to the terminal. Now, this might seem like it goes against everything that I just said before, of how the computer counts from 0 and includes 0 as a number in the count. Although length gives you an accurate number of how many characters are in the string. Although when it comes to calling on certain characters within this string, these things don't add up. That brings us on to index calling with strings. Now, this can be done using our hello string in such way. Now, we put a 1 in the brackets here, right next to our hello string. What this is going to do is print the first character within our hello string. But as you will see, it will print E to the terminal. That's because it is still running on the logic I explained earlier, as H is 0 and E is 1, so it's not really like this is the first character. It's the character at the first position, at number 1's position, where the first character would be at 0's position. I'll let you see how that works now. So if we run this, you can see we get the E, which is here. So when calling on items, it's still that 0 to 4 range with this hello string, but the length will give you the accurate 5 because it knows that's how other humans are going to interpret it, and that's the way length works within Python. In future, if you're going to do projects, when looping through strings, a lot of people will use length -1. That makes a length string have the right amount of characters as you would desire when calling on each position or character within the string. So if we did length -1, for example, and we ran that, we'll now get this 4. And 4 is the amount of numbers you could call on within the string. So that gives us more accuracy and prevents something called an index error, which means you tried to call something that doesn't exist to the program. I'll show you how an index error works now with this string. We'll try and call position 5, which to any normal human, we would say that's O, the last letter of hello. But when we try and ask the computer to print O, it will give us an index error, string index out of range. This basically means exactly what I was saying before. 5 doesn't exist in this string to the computer. O for the computer is 4. So that's something to watch out for. But that's basically the only trippy part of logic behind strings. The rest of it's quite simple. So as soon as you get that kind of concrete into your head, into your brain, and you remember that, oh, why am I getting, you might come into situations like, why am I getting this letter when I'm putting in, when I'm trying to get this item? Oh, it's probably the item before or the item one forward. So, just watch out for those sort of things, which can slip you up a lot with strings. Moving forward into more of the advanced topics with strings, I want to cover slicing. Now, slicing is calling basically a certain group of characters within a string. I'll show you an example now. For example, if we write code as such, print hello as our string with this sort of weird bit of code in the bracket. If you don't know anything about strings, this will be really weird too. But what this is basically saying is it's gonna print all the characters from the second position within the string to the third. And I'll show you how this works now. Oh, index error again because of this. So we'll just get rid of this for now. And there. L. So it gives us L. So 3 isn't included within these ranges. So basically what this has done is the range it could cover was only the second item. And keeping in mind it counts from 0, 0, 1, and then 2. So L is in second position, so it printed out L to the terminal here. To have a bigger range and see how it works, we can maybe do from the first position to the fourth position. So this should print us out the first character, the character in the first position the character in the second, and the character in the third. See, when we print this now, we get this group of characters, which is E is in the first position, L is in the second position, and the other L is in the third position, which is exactly what we got in the terminal. Okay, just another quick tip. This slicing method can also be used on negative positions, and how Python will read this is basically it will kind of just count backwards within the string. So for example, we'll start off with just calling singular items -1, and we'll run that, and 0. So -1 is the fourth position, and -2 is the third, and so on backwards. So we could also call a range of position 1 to -1, which is the equivalent as calling position 1 to position 4 in this case, and we get this group of numbers as well. So I just wanted to let you guys know that is also a thing that can be achieved with slicing. Now, a few other useful commands or functions that you can use on strings that are nice to be inbuilt into Python is upper and lowercase. Now, thanks to Python's beautiful syntax, this can easily be done just by the following. We have our string hello dot upper, and then normal brackets open and close. Now if we print this, it gives us hello with every character capitalized. Now if we put a capitalized string into the program and call the lower function on this string, it will achieve the opposite. So it's made every capital letter in the original hello now lowercase. The last thing I want to cover with basic strings within Python is string concatenation, or in more simpler terms, adding two words together. This is quite simply done probably the exact way you think it is. So we're using a print statement again just to see in the terminal, and let's say we have the string hello and the string world. All you have to do is put an addition sign between the two, and if we run this, we get hello world added together. So the two strings get concatenated or added together. Now, before I sign off here and thank you all for watching, I do want to let you know there's a lot more things you can do with strings within Python, although this is a basics video and I wanted to cover just more of the fundamentals, but I will go over strings again in a more advanced way and cover a lot more things you can do with strings in a future video. Thanks for watching. Tap that like button, don't break it. I don't know why people are telling people to break it on YouTube lately, but tap that like button for me, really helps out. You hear this many times a day, but it helps out the algorithm, it really does. And I hope to see you in the next video where we will be covering integers and floats.